Hello everyone, I'm Khaled Gharib. I will talk today about navigating the cost management using the 5D BIM. First, we'll talk about the traditional cost management. We will see a general overview on the traditional cost management and the cost management areas. And also we'll take a step to the 5D BIM information requirement and what is the 5D BIM. Then we'll see the benefits of 5D BIM and the barriers of implementing it. Then we'll talk about the 5D BIM cost manager. And lastly, in the summary, we'll see a real case project which is implemented in India. What is the cost management in general? For centuries, the construction projects have struggled with cost overruns in most of the mega projects because the traditional cost management strategies have limitations in our complicated environment of today. Most of the projects are fast-track projects, which means that we should have a cost estimate from the concept design, which is an accurate cost estimate because it depends on the project will be successful or not. In this part, we are leaning on the experienced ones. But how we can merge the experienced ones with the technology? This is the 5D BIM we are aiming to have. The traditional cost management mainly it is the business engineering part. It focuses on ensuring the excellence of the budget and prioritizing the design choices based on cost inputs. It also focuses on the cost effectiveness from the project inception. The cost management in our today is critical because it ensures that the project stays within the budget. Because at the end of the day, we are talking in the business way, the rate of investment for the investors and the rate of return. To make sure that the project have a direct influence with success and the sustainability and profitability, we should ensure that the cost management are done in its perfect way. If you want to talk about numbers, the McKinsey report reported that on average, the large construction project runs 20 months behind the schedule and 80% over the budget. And from my experience, most of the project, which is greater than the 80%, suffers from the cost overrun. So what are the cost management areas? In cost management, in generally, we have two phases. We have the phase which is the pre-contract and the post-contract. In the pre-contract, mainly involved in the part of accurate estimating and value engineering, which starts from the concept design. We produce our cost plan and it develops until we reach the issue for construction or the tender documents. After issuing the tender documents, we go to the construction. We go to the post-contract part. In the post-contract part, it contains variety of tasks including cost controlling, change management, variation orders, cost reporting, and so on. In this chart, we see that the project cost management areas of interest are mainly four parts, which is cost controlling, resource planning, cost budgeting, and cost estimating. If we are aiming in the 5D BIM to contain all of these parts or all of these areas of interest in a lively cost plan or a lively tracking. How we can do this? We can do this by the 5D BIM. So the 5D BIM, for simplicity, it is the process of adding the cost aspect to the 3D model. It mainly involves in the integration of cost data and budgeting into the BIM model, including the labor cost, material, equipment, and any financial aspect. It's how we can integrate the 3D approach to the cost in a lively manner. Its data-driven approach and automation capabilities and features give us a greater transparency, control, and ultimately more successful project outcomes. Because what we are aiming to have like a live tracking for the project from day one. We have like a dashboard. This dashboard have all the aspects related to the cost, and it's also integrated and connected to the 3D model, which we can take its information from the drones, from the GIS, from a 3D model, from the cloud, whatever the source we are taking the model from it, but we can provide a lively project control plan where changes in the design and site are represented in an integrated model and dashboard. In the traditional way, the cost managers mainly or the QSers produce a cost plan of the project budget and develop it as the project develops. For example, if we are working with a designer or our client is the architect, he produces a cost plan of the 20% or the concept design or whatever the phase he are producing his design. We are taking the model as a third party. We are producing a cost plan without noticing the item that have been changed. So we are reworking the work, either the model have been changed or not. So it is the traditional way, which consumes a lot of time to produce a cost plan and a lot of free work that have been done, which we can be mitigated by using the BIM way. So what is the BIM way? The BIM way, the cost manager, it's not a third party. The cost manager plays a player role from the beginning of the project with the other project teams. He helped in designing in the required budget, because the cost manager, he is the one that has the aspect of cost, and the designer have the aspect of technicality and the specs. So if we can merge between both of them in a BIM way or an integrated way, so we can do a decision making, or we can take a decision inside the required budget without doing a value engineering and without doing a lot of exercises that we need to cut off the cost. So why do we need the 5D BIM? In the traditional project management approach, the cost estimation is one of the most complex processes during the design stage, mainly in the concept design, because in the concept design, the designer gives us a generic model. He mentioned that we have a door here, but we don't know the specs of the door. We don't know if it will have a fireproofing or not, a fire protection or not. So all of these trades or all of these assets is recognized by the cost manager, but the experienced one. So it is one of the most complex process to do, even in the later stages. But the other problems that the traditional cost management faces, and we need the 5D BIM for it: the lack of any centralized collaboration or coordination efforts, resulting to the absence of any cost consistency, and also the lack of visualization, as mainly the cost management in the traditional way for centuries, it uses the 2D plans, and we use the AutoCAD or the Bluebeam for quantification, so it have a lack of visualization for the project in general, leading to inadequate decision making, and also the overall difficulty in the process for tracking the day-to-day cost because of numerous outdated techniques and concepts that is used in the industry, and also the lack of any cost estimation template. So this leads us to have the 5D BIM. But how can implement the 5D BIM? We have a guidance note, which is the RICS guidance note, the BIM for cost managers, states a lot of points that need to be implemented to have the 5D BIM. But from my experience, I have taken some notes, and in the next slides, which I think it is the greater points to affect the implementation of the 5D BIM. The first, it is the consultation between the cost manager and the BIM manager. The cost manager should be consulted in the BIM execution plan from the beginning to implement the information requirement needed by the cost manager or the QSers. How we can do this? We can do this from the 3 phases. The first phase, it is that the QS or the cost manager started in the involvement after the BIM execution conceptual model in the production of the BIM execution plan. After the involvement in the BIM conceptual model, it produces the cost analysis for the main elements, and to make sure the cost manager makes sure that the BIM requirement or the information requirement are taken into consideration in the BIM model. Mainly in this stage, you will be working as a cost manager in developing the information that you need in the later stages in the BIM models and the specifications. After that, you have finished the first phase. The second phase is the level of detail. By increasing the level of detail according to the BIM forum, and if we are working in the RIPA plan of work, for example, in the 60%, the level of detail should be developed. By developing the level of detail of the project, we proceed with another level, which is aligning the confirmed elements and the information requirement with the standards, like NRM2, for example. In this stage, the errors should be minimum, because we had started the construction phase if we are working in the 100% or the issue for construction. The last stage is the third stage. The third stage, which should take place at an advanced point during the construction phase, after agreeing the fixed furniture and equipment. In another point, we can say that the level of detail 500. In this phase, we make sure that all of the information requirements are incorporated So we don't need to have like a hustle between the designer and the architect and the stakeholders and the asset management about the items. We don't need this part because we have consistent standard, and we have the information requirement implemented from day one in the BIM execution plan. The other item, it is the formatting. The formatting and the classification. Mainly there is lack of coordination between the coding system used by the designer and the one used in the 5D BIM. So the coding system such as the CSI format and the uni format should be agreed before the implementation or before starting the project in the BIM execution plan. Here we have some coding system like the uni class, the uni format, master format, omni class. All of this coding system must be confirmed and must be coordinated between the BIM manager and the cost manager from the beginning of the project. Also, the timeline of the project should be detailed. The submission timing, the level of detail should be implemented in coordination between the cost manager and the BIM coordination team or the BIM manager, to make sure that the level of detail will meet the information requirement needed for this stage or submission. The capacity of the file should be agreed, because for example, if you are using the cost X and you are producing a Revit file of 2 GB, there will be the cost X will not work in its full capability, because in the cost X will have a lot of circumstance in using this 2 GB model. So the BIM manager and the cost manager have to coordinate between each other about the capacity of the file, and also the software which should be used, even if the Revit, the cost X, the Navisworks, any software will be used, and also the format of the exported file. Mainly in the commercial part, the correct one is to use the IFC 2x3. But either you are working on the RVT or IFC or whatever the software or the format, it should be implemented and written in the BIM execution plan. This is some of the software applications that supporting the 5D BIM, like the BuildSoft, the Navisworks, the Synchro, the CostX, whatever the software will be used. All of these softwares and a lot of other softwares are supporting the 5D BIM process. We have talked about the implementation steps, but why we didn't implement it or have struggles in implementing it? Because the barriers. The cost of implementing the 5D BIM, it's not just monetary. For example, a company want to implement the 5D BIM in a project. It's not about buying or purchasing the software license. It's not that. It's in terms of time and effort, it's very, very expensive, because you have to contract it with a consulting company to give you a sessions and intensive training on how we can use the 5D BIM. So it is time and effort manner. Also, a lack of single software solution for 5D BIM implementation or a full package of 5D BIM implementation, because we have a lot of 5D features. Also, the challenging in preparing the teams, because in our construction industry we have a resistance for a change, a huge resistance for a change. The industry recognized cost planning format also, it's not entirely compatible with the 5D BIM practices. So all of these barriers we have to mitigate it before implementing the 5D BIM. So who will implement it? The 5D BIM cost manager, he's the one is responsible for implementing the 5D BIM. Who is the 5D BIM cost manager? He is the one that have the core knowledge of the cost management and also the BIM knowledge. Because, for example, in the 3D model for Revit, for example, we have a lot of elements. Some elements are not modeled in the 3D model. We need a cost manager to validate it. Because in the 5D BIM we have 3 different quantities. We have quantities based on model components like the beam, slabs. All of these items can be quantified, and also we can assign the cost for them easily. But what if the quantities derived from the model component? By the end of the day, it is software. The 5D BIM, it is a tool. It's not it's not a human. Garbage in, garbage out. If you don't mention that for example, we have architraves for the doors, formwork for the columns, the 5D BIM will not understand that we have extra cost for the beams or for the columns or for the doors. The other quantity, it is the non-model quantities that affect the cost, like the slab anchorage, the expansion joints, the construction joints. All of these items affect the cost but will not be modeled. The 5D BIM cost manager, he is the one who is responsible for validating their existence, as by the end of the day, as we mentioned, the 5D BIM tool which would facilitate the intelligent process, but it will not mitigate the human interaction. The 5D BIM cost manager also should be able to simulate and explore various design and construction scenarios in timely manner with the client, by having the decision making from the data driven and the quantities linked in the BIM live model. The application which is the most efficient for the 5D BIM, which is the payment certificate and cost tracking. This, a sample from the Pixel Manager, shows to us a sample for a project, as we have here the cash flow and by month for contractor, and who is the subcontractor that will be assigned for this project, the certified cost, and the formatting. For example, we'll use the uniformat or master format, and we have the cost breakdown for each item in the project. In the traditional way, we have a cash flow. What is the extra here? The extra here, if we click on a month, for example, October 2021, we will see that the Revit model or the 3D model highlighted the item that will be constructed in this month specifically, and also who is the subcontractors that will be assigned for this project, and the cost breakdown for these items. All of this stuff will be visually inspected in a dashboard, which we can call a lively manner project. So here we can check any item, we can do whatever we want visually without Excel sheets and this all dated part. For summary, we can see that with the cost management, the 5D BIM has been used in Nagpur Metro in India. For implementing this project, they have mitigated the part of the resistance for change, and also the time, manner, which is for training, and the effort for training. They have contracted with a consulting company which have given intensive training for the contractors and consultants which will be working with this project. The project used a real-time data from GIS and drones to achieve a model-based progress monitoring during execution. By the end of the day, we are talking about the cost management, so our important part is to save cost. What we have gained from implementing the 5D BIM in this project? The 5D BIM has saved about $250 million in the maintenance and the project delivery, design review, quality assurance, site validation for 25 years. For saving $250 million in a project, it is a massive saving by using only a 5D BIM or a tool. So this shows to us what is the beneficial part of using the 5D BIM. This project is a little bit complicated, but for summary, we have taken the important points that we want to talk about, which is the real-time data that they have taken from the drones and GIS. So from this part, we need a cost manager which have the part of knowledge between the BIM and GIS integration, and also he have the part of the information delivery that will be needed in the project delivery, the design review, the site validation. All of this stuff should be implemented by the 5D BIM cost manager and also the other consultant which have been coordinated in the BIM execution plan before. I hope this presentation was good, and I have shown all the stuff I want to say in this part. This is my contact information, and I'm very open for any discussion. Thank you.